I'm not like an easy person to ask out, I think, because I know what I want, and I'm not playing games. And I think that my directness sometimes is intimidating.
No, madam, you're not easy to ask out because no man wants to ask out a divorced woman. You know, guys, I see this all the time from these divorced women or these women on dating applications. You know, they'll make profiles that say things like, I'm done with the games, I'm ready to settle down now. And all that means is that she has screwed around a hell of a lot and she will probably do it again. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we have a funny one for you here today of divorced modern women. Essentially just being desperate, all right? We all know the way it goes. What they do is they go out there, they screw around until they're 30, then they get some sucker to look after them, then they divorce him, try and take the money, and then they're back out there on the streets. So we're going to be kicking it off with this woman right here, guys, who is a divorced, I'm not sure if she's a single mother, but she's certainly divorced. So let's jump in, let's take a listen. Don't forget to leave it your thoughts and your comments.
Hi. I am going on a date. I'm not going to say anybody's names, but I'm very excited about this. I've been texting him for a couple of days, and we've talked a little on the phone as well. So tonight we're going to go and get some food and maybe listen to some live music. My favorite date. Live music, food and live music, and maybe like, well, some drinks. So
why do modern women always have to be, I think I said this literally in the last video, guys, but why do they always have to be doing something like eating food or straightening their hair or putting on makeup, right? They never just make a video talking. They always have to be doing something at the same time. I'm surprised she's not doing her makeup, right? Normally these women interrupt their own videos even more to make it happen.
Should be fine. I'm nervous. I haven't done this in so long, but I'm really looking forward to it. And he seems like a really good guy. So we will see how it goes. Passed all my preliminary questions. Maybe one of these days I will share my preliminary questions here.
Guys, she's going to go on and talk about the type of man that she's trying to date here in a second, okay? But every single time you have a woman who is over the age of 30 and she's saying how he's a good guy, right? And she's excited to go out on a date with him. Usually it just means he has money and that he's attractive enough for her. Right? He meets these superficial criteria. Now, these women will try and convince you that they don't have criteria like this, but of course they do, guys. He has to earn X amount of money. He has to be a sucker. He basically has to be, ripe for the picking. I've always said this as well, but I think dudes who are financially well off and who are a little bit older, they have this giant target on their back for desperate divorced women and single mothers and things like this who, want to be taken care of.
I'm not like an easy person to ask out, I think, because I know what I want, and I'm not playing games. And I think that my directness sometimes is intimidating.
I don't know, guys, I swear to you, okay, I don't know a single man who is or has ever been intimidated by a modern woman. I have not a clue of a single one. Women will get on here and they'll say, well, I'm intimidating and that's why men don't want to ask me out. No, it's because you're annoying and because you're divorced, right? They'll try and rationalize like, yeah, I'm a strong and independent woman and I know what I want and that's why men don't want to ask me out. No, they just don't want the headache, right? Notice how these women, guys, they can't differentiate, right? They always have to paint themselves in some sort of good light and that's why men won't ask them out. But generally speaking, it's just because men don't want to date them.
But my thought process is if somebody makes it through those prelim questions, then they're worth going on the date for. So, last thing, I think that I'm the most nervous about is that this is the first time that I'm like putting myself out there since the divorce. And I was like out with some friends last night, and this guy came up to me and he was like, I heard you were married. And I'm like, first of all, who in this bar told you that? Second of all, like, I am very obviously divorced. Mind your fucking business. Like, people kill me. I'm nervous about, like, running into any of my ex's family, or anybody that maybe hasn't heard about the divorce yet.
I love how this woman trying to tell you guys, and this is what so many of them will try and say as well. It's like, oh, this is the first time I've done this, right? This is the first time this is what this woman said, okay? This is the first time I've put myself out there since the divorce, going on this particular date. But then she goes on to immediately say that she was literally out the previous night at like a club or a bar. Right, let that sink in for a second, guys. You know, these women will try and convince you of so much nonsense. Oh, this is my first date, and they want you to think that they've been celibate the entire time since their marriage. Okay, that they've not hooked up with some random dude or made terrible decisions at a bar. No, guys. Like, women are not really single. They'll try and convince you that they're single and that they've just been working on themselves, and this is the first date she's had in X amount of years. But it's always a lie. Because what they do is they already have a dude lined up that they go and see after the marriage, and that guy's not going to give her a relationship. And so she has to return to the dating, right? But don't get it twisted. These women are not celibate men. They're absolutely not.
It's gonna be fine. I feel like I need to like prep him for that though, so we'll see. See how that conversation goes. I don't know how to have that.
Yeah, so she hasn't even told the guy, before we jump into the next clip, this woman hasn't even told the guy that she's going out on a date with that she's divorced. You know, of course not. They've been talking for days, but she still hasn't mentioned that she's gotten divorced probably very recently. But I'm telling you, man, so many of these women are incredibly desperate to find a guy. Right? She's got a date now. No more hookups. She's done with the games. You already know she's not done with the games. Let's continue on to this next clip here, guys. And holy hell, that was terrifying. At the end of today's episode, guys, by the way, before we jump into the next clip here, we're actually going to be covering an article, which isn't something we haven't done for a while. But this is something I came across, which is just way too funny to pass up, okay? This is a dating guide for women who are over the age of 40 and divorced. So I thought, you know, I just have to cover this nonsense. But we'll be covering that probably at the end of today's episode. But why don't we jump into today's next clip here? And I think we'll choose this woman right here. She looks like a pleasant individual. Let's jump in.
In case I ramble, I do think I am ready to seriously date with full intention again.
So just to catch you up, guys, she's responding to a comment that says, how long do you think it will take you to date seriously again with full intention after your divorce? And, you know, this being the wisdom dispenser that she is going to sit here and give us a perspective on dating after divorce. These videos are amazing, man. Guys, like, these women, they think they're like these gurus. It's insane.
I do date kind of like no expectation. We'll see where it goes. That's always how I've been. I've never been super big to force labels, especially when like dating, like casually dating. I honestly only ever did with my ex-husband, which was honestly looking back a really big red flag for me of how it made me insecure. But I've always been a very big like monogamy girl. I do like the idea of building a life with someone, especially as early as possible.
Okay, let me get this straight, guys. This is a woman who has divorced her husband, but she's trying to convince you that she's very big on monogamy and having serious monogamous relationships as early as possible. That's strike number one. Strike number two, she says that she likes, you know, these serious relationships as early as possible, but at the same time, she's not big on labels. I mean, you cannot make this crap up, guys. Right, this is a woman who goes out there, casually hooks up with dudes, but then is simultaneously trying to say to you that she is, you know, strictly monogamous and she wants relationships to happen as soon as possible for as long as possible. I mean, these people hold so many contradictory thoughts in their head. It is a wonder to me, guys, that they can even record these videos and they aren't just lying in bed with a perpetual headache. Like, how you can think all of these things simultaneously, not realize that they contradict each other, downright hilarious to me. It's a little bit scary too, guys. Like, you know, you start to think about the fact that people like this vote, they drive on the road with you, okay? It starts to get really terrifying really quickly.
Learning all different versions of ourselves, building a life with someone, especially as early as possible, learning all different versions of ourselves together and growing and kind of creating this life, you know, and just because this didn't work out doesn't mean that that has ruined my view of marriage. It has made me realize that I definitely need a prenup next time, but it hasn't ruined my ideas of marriage or the beauty of it or the concept of a serious relationship. I do love having a partner that I can go to farmers markets with, can chill at home with, can travel with, can go for walks with the dogs with, hang out with families with. Like, I love that.
Okay, so this woman said that she needs prenup next time she gets married. Oh, hell no. Okay, so it sounds to me like she was the one earning more money in this particular relationship. Wow, I wonder why that one didn't work out. Guys, for reference, women don't really have long-term relationships with people that last if the man doesn't earn more money than them, right? And you can deny that all you want, guys, but like, let me tell you, women, when they're looking for dudes to marry, they're looking directly at the bank account, usually. Okay, if you don't have a good bank account, they don't want to marry you, right? Or if they do, you won't be, you won't be married the entire time. Let me tell you, that relationship will probably go quite south at some point. Okay, so she's, she earns more money than the dude, and of course she throws the dude out. Now, next time she wants to get a prenup, wait until she realizes that prenups don't really do bugger all, and she's going to lose her assets anyway.
Can travel with, can go for walks with the dogs with, hang out with families with. Like, I love that. And I love building something like that with somebody. And I do really feel healed, as I healed a lot in the relationship once I realized I had been begging for fair treatment about like 6 months to a year before it hit me in February, that I was like, oh my God, I've been begging for this forever and I'm being ignored. I do have OCD, and I had a really big OCD flare-up, so I was kind of oblivious to the treatment I was receiving because I was so sick.
Yeah, don't really care about that one, sorry. Hilarious stuff here, hilarious. I kind of zoned out at the end there, so notice, guys, how incredibly vague this is. Okay, what did she say? I've been begging for fair treatment. But they never tell you what the fair treatment is, right? Oh, I don't feel heard in my relationship. I don't feel seen. I don't feel insert really ambiguous thing here. It's just hilarious, guys, how these women never use any concrete, logical language. I have been begging for equal treatment for 6 months to a year, and then she finally decided to leave. All of this is just absolute nonsense, guys, and the reason why women do this is because they want to keep it as vague as possible so that they have an excuse to leave at any time without seeming like the bad person. That's all that it is. Oh, I thought I could change him, but I realized I finally couldn't, and so I decided to end this relationship at this particular point in time because of that. Never mind the fact that she's with a dude 2 weeks later. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, it's all very, very deliberate, and the reason why this crap is vague is so that they can do it at any time and still try and come across as the victim. That's all that it is, guys. It's just manipulation. That's why these videos are vague. That's why sometimes, you might notice that if your girlfriend ever breaks up with you, or what your wife ever breaks up with you, they'll oftentimes go to people like your friends or family or their friends and their family and just tell them a completely different version of events that make absolutely no sense, that she's been trying to plant for a long time. That's why, dudes get out of these relationships and then the woman accuses them of a bunch of things and he has no idea what the hell's going on. It's all pre-planted and it's all incredibly vague.
In February, that I was like, oh my God, I've been begging for this forever and I'm being ignored. I do have OCD, and I had a really big OCD flare-up, so I was kind of oblivious to the treatment I was receiving because I was so sick. And once the clouds started lifting, I was like, oh my God, I'm begging to be apologized to. I'm begging to be treated nicely. I'm begging for quality time and being told I'm not worth it.
I wonder how many times, these women recite this in the mirror. Can you imagine, guys, this woman's trying to convince you that she's being told that she's not worth it because So she's pushing for quality time, and he's saying no, she's not worth it. I cannot imagine an interaction going like that. You have a girlfriend, she goes to the boyfriend, hey, do you want to go for a picnic today? It'd be nice to spend some quality time together. And him just turning around and being like, no, you're not worth it. That doesn't make sense in my head. I don't see that interaction happening. It just doesn't make sense, man. Things don't add up. Again, all of these situations with these, these husbands and these wives and whatever, if you go and you talk to the husband, typically, or the ex-husband rather, they'll usually have a very different version of events.
And it started me journaling of standards that I've let slide in this relationship. And so I kind of did all like my healing girl shit as I was in the relationship, because I was trying to honestly heal from the hurt that this person had caused me, as well as try and find a solution for us. And yes, it didn't end up working for us, but I do believe that the healing and the work I had done while I was healing from this in the relationship, as well as out of it now, will be really a great foundation for myself and my standards and what I deserve.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
From a partner going forward, I don't do anything half-assed. I don't feel right using people. I don't feel right using people to heal for myself or for attention or anything like that.
I don't trust this woman at all, guys. People that talk like this, when they start talking, there's like these little alarm bells that go off in my head, right? We were 2 seconds into the video, already things weren't making sense. And then they just try and paint themselves as the victim and they start to throw in words like healing and journaling and all this crap. And I just think to myself, I'm out, right? This person is like not trustworthy whatsoever. None of this thing, none of it makes sense. All a bunch of word salad, trying to convince you that she's the victim, she's done healing, she has standards now that she's divorced. No thank you, just a hard pass all around on this one.
I don't do anything half-assed. I don't feel right using people. I don't feel right using people to heal for myself or for attention or anything like that. And so if I am like going to date someone with a few more dates, like it will be with full intention even now. And I'm very open with anybody that I have spoken to that I am going through a divorce. And the reception has been quite well, which was something I was very, very afraid of, honestly. I hope this answered it. If there's anything else, please let me know.
There is absolutely nothing else. In fact, I don't want to hear this woman talk anymore. So this entire clip, guys, before we jump into today's article, was about dating with intention. I want to, again, one last time, clarify that when women say dating with intention, it basically means dating for a dude that has money, right? Trying to lock down the big fish. She's done with the games. She's done with the hookups. And now she's ready to lock down that guy who will look after her into perpetuity. Things become a lot more clear, guys, when you understand what these women are really trying to say. And it's really quite disgusting, right? There's a reason why these women are divorced. There's a reason why men don't want to date them. And there's a reason why, men don't want to get married in the damn first place. But let's jump into this absolutely hilarious article that I found, guys. This is amazing stuff here. Okay, so this is a guide for women who are trying to date over the age of 45. And here's the kicker: they're divorced. Okay, so there's a bunch of little bits and pieces in here that we're going to be jumping into. And basically, we open up with tips, right? What on earth is this, by the way? Boogly. That just sounds terrifying, man. So we got the dating applications here. So the first tip that this particular woman has in this article here, is you have to find the right dating service or application. Guys, gone are the days okay, of going out there and approaching women in bars and clubs and all of this kind of stuff. I mean, it can be done, obviously, but just know that women always have a guy pre-planned. Right? I think that clubs are a complete waste of time for men. I think that bars are a complete waste of time for men, generally speaking. And there's just better things that you could be doing with your time. But just notice this, okay? All of the women being directed onto dating applications. That means, guys, that they're all going to judge you for how you look, right? It's just the way it is. Women will try and convince you that they are not superficial at all. That is complete and utter nonsense. They are all on the dating applications, swiping on the same small group of men, right? We got Coogly, Plenty of Fish, OK Cupid, Bumble, and Tinder, right? So this person says, generally, paid apps will yield better results because the commitment of a paid app means people are more serious about finding a partner. Consider the idea that a free app allows people to secretly browse and date without leaving a financial footprint, possibly allowing married people to cheat, which would be a deal breaker in your dating life. If you have the financial means, use a dating service where you will meet the matchmaker in person and they find you people who they think are compatible partners and arrange introductions. Let me tell you something, guys. I've actually covered a bunch of matchmakers here on this channel from memory. None of them really like their career path. Like they just end up quitting or they end up blaming the women. But the problem is, obviously, if you blame women for anything, especially online, then of course you just don't like women, apparently. So hilarious stuff here. Yeah, guys, any woman that needs a damn matchmaker to find a man is not even worth being with in the first place. Let me just say that. So that's the first tip this article has is use the right dating service or app. And I'm sorry, guys, but this person is trying to say that the reason why they want to use paid apps is so that you don't accidentally date a dude who's a husband. That's nonsense. You can always tell who has a wife and who doesn't. Women just like to claim that they are very bad at it. All right, so next one here, guys. Know your values. Values. Things like honesty, integrity, how he treats other people, and how he talks about people in his life are key factors. Also important are things like level of education, income, profession, lifestyle, and activity level. Wow, would you look at that, guys? Now that we're divorced and we're older, we are looking for things that ensure that we get money from the man. Right? So we need a guy who has, all of the good values, i.e. he's likely to give things to me. And he needs to have things to give. He needs to be well educated. He needs to make money. He needs to be in the right profession. He needs to have a certain type of lifestyle. Are you guys starting to realize why these divorced women are divorced in the first place? I think reading these articles makes it so incredibly damn clear why these women are not in relationships or marriages in the first place, because they can't make it work, right? Because they're just looking for crap like this. He needs to make money. He needs to look after me. Which is fine, guys. If you want to look for these things as a woman, it's just funny to me how it's very opportunistic, right? These are dudes who were previously ignored, treated like trash, but now that she's older and she needs someone to look after her, she's going to return to those men that she threw away and look for a lifestyle and things like this. So, let's go to the next one here. Let's try and find an interesting one. Oh, would you look at this one? Look at this, guys. Do let your dates know that you have kids. So not only are we divorced, but we are also a single mother, apparently. It's not a good idea to hide the fact that you have children from prospective partners. They are a huge part of who you are and your life, and it would be dishonest to keep them a secret. Also, you want to make sure that a potential new partner gets to know about all aspects of your life because they, too, are assessing how you will meet up with their values. Excellent stuff. The single mother as well wrapped up into this whole package here. Take your time when introducing someone. Think about how and when to introduce a new partner to your kids. Oh, man, these women are so lost. You don't want to date women with kids, man. Again, women just have no idea what the hell men want. But hilarious stuff here. Let's continue. I'm just kind of breezing through these points, guys, so you get the idea here. Wow, look at this beautiful photo going on. 45 plus years old, divorced, but, still found her Prince Charming. The next point here is have fun. This can be a really exciting and fulfilling time in your life. Yeah, never mind the fact that you could be raising kids in a full family already, that you chose to disband and break up, but now's the exciting and fulfilling time, right? Now we're looking for fulfillment now that we're 45. What is this? Enjoy meeting new people and exercising your new assertive boundary badass muscles. That is a sentence that I really wish I could scrub from my brain and never hear again. Know what you want, and don't settle. I'm just going to leave this highlighted. You are amazing and worth it. Worth is in all capitals, by the way. Remember, every date that doesn't work out is a lesson. The lesson is in all capitals, by the way. You will learn how to tell if you want to continue with someone or not, and you will have your own back when you choose not to. You will feel powerful because you are able to choose you for what might be the first time in your life. Nonsense. Yeah, so the reason why, guys, these women are single and divorced and can't keep it together with their husbands or just throw them away is because they are thinking about themselves in the first place. Right? It's all about them. It's all about narcissism. It's all about what they want. And that's why the marriage never works out. They can't put people, let alone their own kids, above themselves for anything. Right? So absolutely hilarious stuff here, guys. You know, from this... Wait, I'm going to pull this up. Hang on. So the woman who wrote this article she works with women who are over 40 and divorced. Many women I know over 40 are on their second or even third husband. No wonder these women are like dating coaches for divorced women. There must be so much money to be made here, guys. You know what I'm saying? These women are throwing out their husbands left and right. Of course they want these dating coaches and things like this. That's just crazy to me, man. So let's continue here. I pass zero judgment. Because obviously, guys, as a dating coach, right, particularly as a dating coach for women over the age of 45 who are divorced and things like this, the reason why you don't want to pass judgment is because you lose money if you judge the women, obviously, right? Because the reality is relationships are hard work and they don't always work out. Many of those couples you know that are together for 25, 30, 35 plus years have to put up with a lot of changes and a lot of issues. That is reality. I wanted to share some tips for women over 45 who are facing life after divorce. And part of that life is dating. Dating after divorce can be scary, fun, exciting, difficult, thrilling, and yes, amazing, provided you have some basic boundaries about your dating life. And these dating coaches must be making a pretty penny off of these divorced women just selling them nonsense. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.